just getting the applications. We're just getting the applications processed,
Okay, okay,
and we're gonna hope for future training soon on how to spend the money and reporting. Right now, we just want the applications to get in there.
okay. Well, my applications are all in. It's just now it's reporting it. So
Yes,
I know that was it the Minnesota, what is it? They're having some kind of a seminar coming up and having to do with that process. So I'll attend that.
Minnesota Management and Budget?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They've got one coming up. So
What's the date on that? Do you have the dates?
let me go get it.
That's something that Dominique and I should sit in on.
yes. And Melissa.
Yes.
Melissa is our trainer. She is our supervisor. And she is doing an amazing job getting everything together. Nicole, I can see your hand. Can I see your hand again? Thank you so much for coming to join me in northern Minnesota.
September 21st, it is through the Minnesota League of Cities, and it's from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay, thank
Central
you.
Daylight Time.
On the 21st, okay.
Yeah.
Is that an online thing?
Yes, it's a webinar. Sponsored through the League of Minnesota Cities.
Where would I find the link?
I don't know. I know I've done stuff through them, so I continue to get information. So that was what I got from them.
Okay, I'll look on their site.
I think if you go to the League of Minnesota Cities website, you'll probably find the link. Go to education.
Thank you.
You guys have a couple questions in chat, you know.
Oh,
Yep. How can we attend the Minnesota Management and Budget meeting? I think we just talked about that. It's through the League of Minnesota Cities.
yep.
So if you go on their website and go to education, I'm thinking.
You know what? I do have their website. Maybe we should put that on our site, Lori. League of
Uh,
Cities,
is
I do have that.
Steve Fensky, are you there?
Probably isn't. Okay.
This is Kristen. Yep, I can add something to the website. I'm the person who
Um,
maintains it lately.
If you could just, Kristen, if you can just put it in the chat, the website for the MMB,
Yep.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
This is Bernie, and I have a question about the ARPA money.
Yes, Bernie, go ahead.
Do we have to put that in a special fund? Or can it just be left in our general fund?
Do you want me to take this, Lori?
Yes,
Okay, yes, you should put that in a special fund. Now, did you also request CARES money?
Yes.
Okay, so what they've suggested is to go ahead and use that same fund. Just change the label on it, just change the name
Okay.
to federal grant and ARP money. Okay,
So we can name it the ARPA.
ARPA.
yep, federal grant / ARPA, ARP.
Federal grant. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, sure.
We had a question that asked about the Four Corners training. That's what we're calling it. Yes, that education or those trainings are strictly to fill out your ARPA application. We're going to have trainings in the future on how to use the money, how to do the reporting. Right now, we just want everybody to apply for it. Because the deadline is October 4th. So if you've already applied, there's no need to go to those trainings. Wanda, do you have a question?
Nope, I'm just kind of listening. Because they're
Okay.
asking the questions I,
If you could mute yourself, that would be great.
Lori, this is Lauren.
Hi,
Um,
Lauren.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi there. They, on it, you said that the Four Corners ones is strictly for the ARPA funds. Is it not also for getting their training for the board of review?
Yes, yes. And what we're doing is we've got people that have registered and then we're assigning them times to come in. The local board of appeals and equalization. It's going to be the same as what's online. And we're going to run that and then we're going to get certificates for everybody. So
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Hey Lori, this is Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
And Petra. I just want to, I guess, clarify. I would reading what they sent as far from CTAS is they want you to use that Fund 270, which we use for CARES,
Yes.
but to go back and rename it COVID
Yes.
and then use a program code to differentiate between the CARES money and the ARPA money. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We want people to put that ARPA money in a separate fund because when it comes time to report, you're going to have all of that in that fund.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Yep.
Welcome to the board of directors, by the way.
Well, thank you. We'll see you in person next week, I guess, huh?
Oh, I'm going to be training.
Oh, you're gonna be gone, huh?
I'm going to be
Okay.
in northern Minnesota.
Okay, well, I'll be in St. Michael, I guess.
I'm going to be in Jill's country.
And Lori's coming up to my part of the country.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
That's the best part, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's beautiful up there.
It's
Yeah, it
gorgeous
is.
up here.
So is Nicole. You'll see her hand in a minute. She'll
Yeah.
put her hand up. She's gonna be up. Yep, Nicole will be there too.
Okay.
Okay, we have a question from 218-839-7787. No?
Oh, nope, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm probably not on mute, am I?
No, you're not.
Okay, should I put *6 will mute me again?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that.
So we have another, we do have go ahead.
I do have a quick question. We did send all our forms into Melissa and to have the forms filled out there with you guys. So there's really no reason for us to go to that meeting in Bemidji then, is there?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a comment from Jeff, our executive director. As of today, 767 townships have currently applied for ARPA. 1,014. No, I lost it.
Have yet to apply. Yep.
Yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there a place that we can go to see all the different townships that have applied successfully?
Jeff, if you're there, that would be you.
It would be best just to call the office and ask us about that. And we'll be able to find out from the MMB. And I get periodic reports from them. They just told me a number. I did not get the list from them. But we'll be able to find out.
Are you able to give your phone number?
Yeah, you can just call the office.
763 something 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 2333.
Yeah, what is that number?
Good. I like the something, something, something.
I know the
I never
2330. I don't know the middle ones.
763-497-2330.
There you go. Thank you, Lauren.
you.
I haven't learned how something works yet.
Exactly. There you go, Barb. Okay, we do have a question. If we didn't get the CARES money, This ARPA money is easy. Yes, very, very easy. Just make sure that if you can go ahead and provide the information, your documentation to the MAD office if you want them to apply for you, or you can meet at one of the training sites next week that Lori was mentioning. Very easy. And then Terry, to everyone, I've applied for the money and received some. There are 2 payments expected. How soon do you expect to have training, or what is allowed and reporting?
Jeff?
I'm sorry, I was typing when that question came up. What was that?
When are we gonna have training on how we can spend the ARPA money and the reporting?
Well, for spending the money, we do have webinars or PowerPoint already on our website. If you go to the ARPA tab on our website, Steve and Carl did an excellent presentation on that. And so you just want to go ahead and view those. And also, sorry, I'm getting a little feedback here. Also, if as far as reporting goes, we do not have the final guidance from the feds as far as how reporting is going to go, how it's going to look. As soon as we do, we are going to put up a webinar to allow everybody to see how that's going to occur.
Right.
The first report's not due till October 31.
I can go ahead and respond to the payments. You will be receiving a portion of it this year and the rest of it next summer.
Is it the same amount both times?
You know, they really haven't mentioned that. It's apparently whatever you're entitled, what your township is going to get.
It is half and half. So you get 50% this year, you get 50% next year.
Next year, right. Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Okay, we have a question. Aren't these meetings to learn how to report the yearly reports? Not yet. Not yet. We are going to be getting that together.
Right, guidance on that.
Yep, and Ally, is this whole hour going to be about ARPA? If you have a question, please let us know. It's not all about ARPA. This is for clerks and treasurers to ask questions they want to ask. It's not all about ARPA.
Exactly.
Pat, your first half was less than I expected. You know, Jeff, can you answer that one?
Yeah, there's a couple of criteria, things involved. Typically, what people are getting is they're between $100 to $105 per resident based on your projected 2019 census. And so you get half of that this year, you'll get the other half next year. The only caveat with that is that, or the cap to that is, you are capped to 75% of your 2019 expenditure or your 2020 budget, whichever you put in that top line when you apply for the funding. So the most you can get is 75% of that dollar amount. But kind of like Petra said before, the government's going to give you what the government's going to give you.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be an appeal process.
Pat also has another question on the end of the year workman's comp report. Will there be anything needed from the ARPA monies? That's the work comp through Madet.
Yes, it is. It was getting too hard to type, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know there's the breakdown for like what employees make and all that stuff. And it has it all separated out, like the cemetery and all that, how much is going for that. This ARPA money, we've got a separate account at the bank just for it, so that we can earmark it just for broadband, because that's what we're gonna spend our money on. And they said there's gonna get interest in it stuff too, because, so does that interest have to go back into that, or can it get put into the general fund just by itself, or?
I can answer that, Lori, if you'd like.
Thank you.
Any interest that you earn on the ARPA funds is why we're stressing to people, get the money, put it into an interest-bearing account, because any interest you earn is your money that can go into the general fund. The only thing you cannot use that money for is to pay down debt. But you can use it for your roads, for anything else that you'd like to spend it on.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Linda.
Hi, Linda.
I have a quick. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. So I heard that we can allot some of that money towards Matt. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. Because we are
Okay.
501c3 nonprofit.
Okay, good. Do we have to say what it's to be used towards or anything, or just a general amount?
If you have a specific thing that you'd like it used for, you certainly can do that. But otherwise, no. If you just give the money to the association, we still have to use it for COVID-related items. You know, we can't just use it for anything. And but that would then be incumbent upon us to make sure that we do that. And of course, we would.
Okay. Now, does Matt get any money? But they probably don't because they're not a township then, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not receive any funds and will not receive funds from the government or the state.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
This is Gene. I have a question. You talked about the interest on the money received. You indicated at that point something about being able to use money for roads, what have you. Is that just the interest portion, or have you already found out that the ARP money can be used for roads?
Well, I'm going to use Steve's typical response. It depends. The interest, yes, the interest on the money that you put into your account can be used for roads. And yeah, we cannot do a direct investment in roads as of yet. However, if you do see that there's a calculation on the website for general revenue loss, if you do experience it, if you do experience a general revenue loss, that money can then be used for roads.
I see. Okay. But I just wanted to clarify that because it sounded for a moment that you already knew that we could use it for roads. And I thought it was just the interest you were referring to.
That's correct. It is just the interest, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
So another question, when completing the ARPA application, how are you notified of the dollar amount allotted to your town? It shows up in your account from what I understand.
That's correct.
Yep.
We had a spreadsheet from Rams that had which township was going to get how much, and it was a percentage of the 1 million or something like that, and ours was like $70,000, and we did already receive like $32,000, and they sent us an actual check. It was kind of fun.
Good. Good.
Fun. So I just want to open it up right now. Is there any other questions out there not related to ARPA? We are here for clerks and treasurers right now.
Yep.
You want to talk election machines?
No.
Oh. I was just wondering if there was any funding for the new DS200s, because we didn't buy one when it first came out because they had that funding. And our M100 was still working just fine, but now we've been told that the M100 is so obsolete that we need a DS200. And so I was wondering if there was going to be any funding available for that, if you know.
I have no idea. Barb, did you get the new one? Barb Welty, did you get the new one?
Did I get what new one?
The new election machine?
Yeah, well, as far as I know, we did.
And how did that go?
Terrific. They were basically the same, actually.
Okay.
And they worked well.
And how did you get that, Barb?
He just ordered them for us.
Oh, okay. Because you're a bigger township, maybe?
I thought all of you got it, so I don't know.
I did not.
Sorry.
This is Bernie.
Hi, Bernie.
Yes, we purchased poll pads for elections and they work great.
Well, we have the poll pad too through our county. But then there's the tabulator machine. I think Barb has a different one than I do, and we're in the same county.
Oh, okay. I didn't know anything about those.
I didn't either. Our clerk has been ill. How long can the deputy clerk take over? Is there a time limit? I do not believe so. Steve, if you're on, is there a time limit for the deputy clerk to take over for the clerk?
As Steve is actually in room 1, he's moderating that one, so he will not
Okay.
be coming over this one.
I don't believe there is a time limit. I mean, Petra, correct me if I'm wrong.
You know, I don't believe that there is. I know there's just a time limit if somebody leaves office. That's
Yeah.
for 3 months if they do a no-show. But as far as being ill, I don't believe that there is a time limit on that.
That's why we have deputies.
Exactly.
All of you need deputies.
Yep, very important role.
Jill, do you have a question?
I got some supervisors who are very bad at cashing their paychecks.
Can I see a show of hands of how many clerks and treasurers out there where the supervisors will not cash the checks?
Exactly.
Show of hands. They're all
Exactly.
there.
They either lose them or they set them on a counter in their kitchen and they get lost or something.
Exactly.
So our treasurer had an idea.
Okay.
He said, when you get home tonight, you sign your check and then leave it where your wife can find it and then she'll cash it.
There you go.
I'm getting on the CTAS. Okay. So when the payroll's already been posted to, the disbursements. Because when they decide they're lost, they're never gonna find it, then they want it reissued. And once the payroll for that month is just in the disbursements, it seems I can't make any change on the payroll for that month. I can void the check on the disbursements. But it seems to me, and maybe I don't know, or I haven't figured it out yet, but it seems like then it makes my bank account like off by whatever that check was. So I don't know what I'm doing there, but.
Okay, when you void a check, you have to go into your cash module and clear that voided check.
Oh, I can't just do it from the distribution thing.
Yep, you void it in the distributions and then you have to go to the cash.
Okay, that's a step I didn't do. Okay.
And remove it. Yeah.
And remove it.
Distributions first and then cash.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Pat says, tell the supervisor to sign his check and give it to you. You'll take care of it.
I'll sure do that.
There you go.
Thank you, Pat.
I tell my supervisors if they didn't cash their check, they don't get a check the next month.
Oh, Bernie, I love you.
True, good for you.
I should know that my treasurer and we always cash our checks.
Can I ask a question about ARPA again?
Okay.
Yeah. Can the ARPA funds be used to purchase laptop computers for each of the board members?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yep.
You're gonna get laptops, you're gonna get broadband, you're gonna get
Yep.
new air in your town hall.
Yep.
If you do air, you have to do also like air filtration, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, Lori, this
Hi,
is Carl
Carl.
Christian.
Hi.
Yes, for air, an air filtration system has to be set up that complies with the CDC guidelines for the proper air exchange level to remove what they would say is the amount necessary to eliminate or substantially mitigate the virus.
Thank you, Carl.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How often does everybody pay their supervisors and stuff? I heard at one meeting we have to pay monthly now, but we were on every quarter.
Carl, correct me if I'm wrong, this new wage theft thing does not apply to elected officials?
I believe you are correct. Yeah, if you have any employees, you would have to set up essentially a monthly payroll system rather than quarterly. But if you are just elected officials at this point, then no.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're just elected, the wage theft law does not apply. So you can do
Okay.
the quarterly thing.
awesome. And then if we don't have broadband in our town hall now, you said we can use the ARPA money for that. Is that the installation fees only or the monthly fees or what part?
Carl?
I would say both, don't you think, Carl?
At least until the pandemic.
A good question. Yes, you could do both, but they would be under different categories probably.
Right.
So the installation fees are going to come out of those infrastructure costs, whereas paying the monthly fees will come out of the response to the pandemic and its negative economic impacts category.
So how many months worth of the monthly fees can we pay? Can you prepay a year's worth or?
For many services, you can. So if you can prepay for a year's worth, that can then go through 2025, since that's obligated to an agreement.
Okay, can you say again, the one part comes out of the infrastructure is the install?
Yep.
And the monthly comes from?
The responses to the pandemic and its negative economic impact.
Okay. And I'm assuming then the install includes if you have to buy router or any of the equipment to make it work, correct?
Probably, yeah.
Could we do the same thing with our website, since we are using that more for information now?
The website might be a little more difficult to justify under one of the three categories that isn't lost revenue replacement, just because it's not a standard government service, especially for townships.
Carl, this is Gene. I have a question regarding the paying for network service in your town hall or whatever. We don't have a town hall. We meet in a church that does not have it. Can we use those funds to bring Wi-Fi into that location?
Probably not on a permanent basis. You would definitely be able to purchase like a wireless hotspot and then pay the monthly fees on that. But probably not for permanent purposes, unless it's part of a broader infrastructure connecting wire lines, broadband installation. So they're just one of many of the buildings in the town hall that are in the township that are receiving services.
I had talked with Steve regarding the ability to use some funds, period, of our township in helping the structure that we do meet in, even though it is a church. And there was something, Steve mentioned something about a contract. If we had a contract or something with the church, that we could then use funds to pay for things that would be permanent within the church, but that we use for our township as well. And maybe that does fall into that category and I need to check that out further, perhaps.
Yeah, and I would agree with Steve there. Then it's starting to function more like a lease, or you're renting it out on a regular basis. And so, like, you may not own a town hall, for instance. Speaking of a hypothetical township, I know you guys don't own a much, but like some towns rent their town hall, have a lease agreement with that, and not very common, but it happens, and they would be able to provide services to that. And so if the church is set up similarly, then the same thing could be true there too.
Okay, and I'll work with either you or Steve. It doesn't make any difference, and see what we can do down the road. That might be something we can pursue because it's something that that we're going to be faced with probably forever, as far as I know. So, all right, I'll work with him on that, or you. Okay.
A question about the our town hall doesn't have a phone line or anything of that nature. And I'm thinking that if we're right next to a CenturyLink line, and so I'm thinking we can attach into CenturyLink with a landline and get our internet that way. It's the way I have it in my home. But those kind of expenses are all right to put in there. Is that what I understand? The other question is that our town hall is probably going to be a short-lived thing because we're thinking in the next couple of years, we're probably going to build a new one. But I don't know that that matters so much as long as we maintain the service into the new hall that's in the same location. Am I right in that?
Probably. So when we are installing broadband under the infrastructure category, it does need to meet certain speed requirements. And so long as those speed requirements are met, then that should be okay for line purposes and in connecting to that.
Well, CenturyLink would be a fiber optic cable, so I would think that the speed should be all right.
Right, probably. I would agree, especially if it's fiber optic.
Okay, Petra, are you seeing the chat? If you miss the step to print the approved claims list and then print the checks, you cannot go back and print the approved claims list. Is there a way to get the approved claims list?
Okay, I must have missed that. Okay, let's go back and.
It's Valerie.
Okay.
I don't know. If you can go into reports.
You cannot go back. You cannot go back and print that. She's right. And in fact, with the new update, Lori, I noticed that there is no approved list to be printed out. I noticed that. You know how it says a checks to be approved? I didn't see that step in there. So to answer her question, you cannot go back and print that if you miss the step.
You have to print it before.
You have to print it before. But then the next step, you know, where it says approve, where we would just check off and then print the checks, that step is no longer there with the new update.
Really?
Yep, it's not there anymore.
We have to talk to Mark about that.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so Becky, keeping the books balanced, the clerk should only enter disbursements and the treasurer should enter only deposits, and then they should swap info. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you should both be doing both.
Exactly.
Both should be doing the receipts. You both should be doing the disbursements.
Yep. The clerk should keep their book of records and the treasurer should keep their book of records. So, yes.
Can our township purchase a large smart TV to use as a screen for our Zoom meetings? Carl, that's you. I think they're talking about Arpa again.
Yep, I just posted an answer to that in the chat.
Okay.
The short answer to that is yes, you can do that. Really, the purpose you're going to be doing that for is to comply with the 2 open meeting laws that allow you to do remote meetings. they do. And then it also allows the town to be better set up for a remote meeting option.
Mhm. Okay, here's another one for you, Carl. Clarify an election question. Treasurer is moving out of the township, therefore we will appoint a new treasurer. Her term is up in 2024. Is it true the treasurer will be on the ballot in 2022 for 2 years and again on the ballot in 2024 for a 4-year term? Do you have elections every 2 years? That's my question. If you appoint a treasurer, that treasurer is on the ballot until the next election for your township.
For the treasurer, exactly.
Yes. Because I had that in my township with a supervisor, and we appointed a supervisor, and he had to be on the ballot at the next election. Yeah. So if your election is in 2022, yes, she has to be on the ballot. And then she'll be on the ballot in 4 years.
Yep.
Small business. The church exempt from this. Okay, Carl. I was under the impression that using the ARPA money for small businesses, residents, etc. in our townships. Why is the church exempt from this?
If
the Carl is on here.
I know, right?
If the church, if the town sets up a grant program and the church applies for the grant, then the town can use it, or the church can receive funds just like any other business can. The concern with Jean's question earlier about putting funds into the church is the town would specifically be helping the church if they don't have a contract with them. So again, going back to the town can help out small businesses, residents, etc. So long as the town has a grant program set up.
All right, Nancy, our elected supervisors are paid quarterly. We have a newly appointed supervisor. Do they need to be paid monthly? No. If you pay your supervisors quarterly, you pay him quarterly as well. Okay. More TV screens. Petra, are you going through the chats?
Yeah, I have, yep. Okay, that's optic. That's Jeff, yeah. And that was okay. Yeah, Carl. So what's the next one? That's it, only be as.
Okay, so that would be a question right there.
Okay.
There's a difference between a shared fiber optic line and a dedicated fiber optic.
Okay, so obviously there's a difference there. Okay.
So there's a township that has decided to meet only via Zoom. And they want to know if it's okay to just post it on their town hall and their website. Yes.
Yep, that would be okay. Then the next
Put until
one.
further notice too.
In the future, perhaps elected.
Will attending Zoom be available after all this is over? Possibly.
That would be entirely up to your township. To go ahead and answer in the future, perhaps if life is ever normal again. Will attending by Zoom be available when the meetings are in person again? I like this option. It would be entirely up to your township.
Yes.
And in these questions about when you pay your supervisors and your clerk and treasurer too, our township pays only twice a year. And we That means that we still have to file the quarterly 941s, but we pay on the second pay period and the fourth pay period. And so the other two are the 941s are sent in with zeros on them.
Mm.
And
Thank you,
I think
Lauren.
that's still legal, I think.
Hey, if it's worked for you, Lauren, all these years, I'd say it's fine.
Lauren,
There he goes, getting by something again.
Exactly, Barb, exactly.
Lauren, if you only pay twice a year, why can't you just report once a year on the 944?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
There's an answer to that. If your pay period is over, I mean, if your total amount of pay is over, I believe it's $1,000, then you have to pay. If your tax liability is over $1,000, you have to pay. You have to do the quarterly ones. If you're under that and stuff, you can petition or you can ask for a 944 instead.
Well, you guys must get paid more than my guys do then.
We used the 944 for years, and then we slipped over that mark, and they said, yeah, do 941s now.
Well, we did quarterlies until we contracted out our road work. Then we went to 944s.
Joe, maybe if you paid more, they'd cash their checks.
You know, I suggested to them that they could raise their fee if they wanted to, but they didn't.
Oh, that was
And I
nice.
don't have a vote on that, so that all I could do was make this suggestion.
So you just raised yours in the treasurer, right?
No, I'm the clerk, so I don't, you know.
Okay, Jean, to answer your question, yes, there, 2021 CTAS, there is an update 1. And when you update that 1, it has removed that step where you approve. You know, the claims, that step has been removed from that.
Oh, Tammy. Tammy. That is spam. They're requesting payment. Okay, here it is. Our township has been receiving requests for payroll information by a company from Florida. They say it is part of Minnesota's open doors policy. It is not legit. It is not legit. Do not respond.
Lori, I'm sorry. It was open the books.
No. If it's the company from Florida, no.
Yeah, so it's Stephen Shrupback from American Transparency out of Boca Raton, Florida.
No.
No, okay, good, because I
No.
did. Good.
Just say no. If the clerk and treasurer are both what? Appointed, they considered an employee of the township or an elected official. If the clerk and treasurer are appointed, are they considered an employee of the township or an elected official?
They're employees, yep.
Yes, they are employees.
And so the wage theft law information has to be filled out and submitted.
Yes.
This is Becky. I have something to add about that. So I was an elected treasurer and then got a divorce and moved out of the township. So then, you know, we worked with Matt, I believe it was, and they were saying that in order for me to be appointed, there had to be a question put on the March ballot asking the township residents if they wanted an appointed treasurer or not. So they had to do that. And then the following year, I believe it was, then I ended up being a write-in candidate, but also being an appointed treasurer, you have to, there's a pay law. You have to be paid, you know, like, I think we decided to pay like by the 15th of each month. it's a monthly pay. I used to be quarterly when I was elected, but now it's a monthly. You have to do it like within like 15 or
days.
30 days or something
Within
like that.
31 days, right, within.
There it
31
is. Yep. Yep.
Because you're appointed, you're an employee.
Correct. Yep.
That's why.
Can I ask to any of the townships that have done the Zoom meetings, how do you get your claims list approved, signed off by the supervisors? And then how do y'all do the checks? I mean, do like the clerk and treasurer meet up and do that, or?
In our case, we're strictly via Zoom. I'm the treasurer. The clerk drops the claims off with me. And then one of the supervisors comes by and signs, and I send them back to her. But I am kind of the tech person, so I show all of those, share all of those when we're meeting. So everybody who's on the Zoom meeting can see the claims and the reports and all of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I appreciate that. I was gonna ask that question, is there someone at your town hall then in case a member of the public would happen to show up, or do you just post the Zoom link at your town hall posting location?
Actually, what we do is we have a sign on the door that says, go to the website and click on the link.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. That's really a good option. Just to add another step to that, Deb, what we did at our township is the clerk went ahead and scanned all the claims and sent them to each supervisor. So while they were discussing it over Zoom, they had the paperwork in front of them.
Yep.
So.
And then they signed.
We did this.
Frank, also, it's okay for just the clerk to sign the checks during this pandemic. I know that came from Matt. We just notified our bank that was happening, and they said that was fine. You don't have to have all the signatures, the clerk's signature. It's fine.
You're correct, absolutely.
And it depends on the bank. It depends on the bank, because my bank will not accept checks that don't have 3 signatures.
Well, I'd have to, I guess, get with Carl or on that, because I believe that's law. It was law that was put into effect during the
pandemic,
the governor's emergency powers or whatever.
Okay.
I know the directive came down from Matt that it was all right for only the clerk to sign the checks. So where that came from, I guess, be up to Carl to answer.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a problem for us. I sign them as the treasurer, and one of the supervisors comes by and puts his signature on them and drops them off at the clerk's house. And she drops them back off at my house. We all live fairly close. It's not a problem.
To be honest with you, my banker told us one time that unless we pay $25 a month, they don't even look at them anyway. They care less how many signatures were on them or who signs them.
Right.
I have sent checks through without a signature, so.
Mhm. And he's right. Our bank does the same thing. They don't care if there's 1 signature or 3 signatures, even though there's 3 lines, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sure ours would do the same thing.
And as
So,
far
I have
as-
a question.
Yes.
My question is regarding sharing information with the public at meetings. As the treasurer, I report to the board every check that is written and the amounts, which includes payroll. My question is, can that be on, or should that be available to the public, or how do people work around that?
When I do my disbursements ledger every month, I actually white out, it says payroll, and I white out the council person or the treasurer, whatever. Net pay is not public information, gross pay only. So when I do my disbursements ledger for the meetings, I white out if it's a council person, because all it says is payroll on your disbursement. And I white out supervisor, clerk, whatever. And that's what I give them. Does that answer your question?
the checks are made out to the individual person's name.
Yep.
But when you are reporting on it and sharing it, you only put payroll in that slot, is that it?
Yep.
With the actual take-home money that they have, right?
Without their name.
Without their name. Okay. And what about, part of the annual report is accounting for all money spent there too. So do you, in the same way then, do you just list it as straight payroll?
Yes.
Okay.
No
And
individual's name.
no
Right.
name.
No name.
And what about employees? Is that the same for them also then? If you're paying other people in the township?
Yes.
Thank you.
Gross pay is the only public information. Net pay is for the treasurer, the clerk, and the board. Net pay is not to go anywhere in public.
Okay. Even for
Lori?
an employee?
Yes.
Lori, this is Gene. I have a question regarding that. It used to be that the only thing that people could not see was deductions from the check, and that net or gross was not a problem. When did that change?
You know what? If you do a gross payroll report, that's all the public needs. They don't need to see net pay.
I'm not challenging whether or not they need to see it or not. My question is, when did it change that the net pay was not something that would be public?
I cannot answer that, Gene.
Would you find out? I'd like to know, because that's a change in my mind that I'm not aware of, and I'd like to know where and how that came about.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
I'll see what I can do for you, Gene.
Okay.
Where does the wage theft report get?
Lori, this is Frank. I was under the same impression that you just could not, the deductions and that were not to be made public because that was private information, but the pay either way could be, so.
Yeah.
I will find out.
Okay, so there's a question, where does the wage theft report get sent to? It does not get sent to anywhere, okay? The wage theft, there's an employee notice that the employee has to sign, and the township keeps a copy of that.
Thank you.
And then the next question.
Okay.
I can hear you, Nicole.
I still have both the claims list from the approval.
Oh,
Okay.
we gotta wrap it up. We're not done yet, Jeff.
Exactly, okay. Okay, so Norway Lake, okay, she's got the CTAS 2021 update version 1. Still have both the claims list for approval and the approved claims tabs, okay. If I forget to print the claims list for approval before I approve claims and print the checks. So she was just making a note of that. Okay, I'll have to check that. It just might be my system. Thank you. Okay, what is?
You've heard everything in the message. Choose after approval.
Go ahead, Lori, you want to take that? We prepared her.
We prepared everything in advance so supervisors can review before the meeting, and the clerk and chair signed after approval the next day. Prepared, I guess I'm missing something.
I think that was maybe a response to my question on how some people did the Zoom.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Got it.
Which I appreciate everybody's tips and ideas.
That's what changed. Yeah, I agree. If you white out the information, I agree. Oh, and then Jeff is making us go away.
Thank you, girls, for doing such a good job. I guess we're going to lose you.
You know what? I love this, that we can all just like socialize via Zoom.
I know, isn't this nice?
And we can find out questions from each other, right? That's what we need to do.
Thanks so much for the give and take. It's been a good session. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
you're
Lauren.
welcome. Thank you. Nice. to
Laura,
see
I miss you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Barb.
Good session, folks. Good session.
Thank you, Jean.
There's Lyle.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jean.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks. Look at the hand over here again, Laura.
Hi, Nicole. See you Tuesday.